Hello and welcome to Pokesports, a competitive Pokemon podcast. I'm Mike and I play with one Pokemon on the field.
I'm Kevin and I might as well play with none because I threw them all out after the Players Cup.
Oh no.
We're starting.
Oh,
we're starting
no.
here.
This is what we're starting with. Kevin, what have you done?
I deleted them all. They're gone. Items and all. Shinies, I don't care. They don't deserve anything.
No.
Like,
oh, Kevin.
I'm a little salty after the Players Cup, but we'll talk about that later on.
Yeah. It is currently Sunday, July 12th. I'm going to talk about what kind of a day that is later. But first off, if you're listening to this on Wednesday, July 15th or onward, National July 15th, when this podcast actually comes out, is National Give Something Away Day. So be like a Delibird, give a present, give something that you own, wrap it up in a nice little bow, and give it to someone you love or don't love. Depends on what there is.
I don't have to give anyone anything because I already gave my opponents their victories.
You definitely didn't give away the Pokemon that you threw out.
oh no! The second that I started releasing them, Mike's like, "No, give them away."
Honestly.
I'm like, "Nope."
Well, it was funny.
It.
So, okay, again, we're gonna talk about this, but Kevin threw out his entire Players Cup team out of half anger and half madness. But
just anger.
But when he did it, there were people in the chat who were like, "Dude, you need to close your game right now. Like, don't save over this. Don't make this permanent." Because people were like, "Oh, I could use that. Like, you know, give me that Pokemon." So I messaged Kevin on Discord immediately. I'm like, "Dude, close your game. Give away the Pokemon. It's fine. Just don't keep them, but just go." And then immediately after he reads "don't save," he's like, the first thing he does is goes to save it. So
what else?
Thanks, Kevin, for that. All right. Now, if for whatever reason you are joining us on Twitch today, like the group of you currently are, hello and welcome. It is Sunday, July 12th, otherwise known as National Simplicity Day. And for the sake of National Simplicity Day, what I have done is I've put together this screen, and this is the screen that we're going to be dealing with today. It's just me. It's just, oh, he's over there now. Just Kevin. We are going to be having a good time talking about the Players Cup and a bunch of other stuff as well. Kevin, what do you think of this little screen? It's super simple.
This was a surprise to me as well.
Yeah.
I like it better than
I haven't told him.
Screen.
I usually send Kevin the list of slides. And so I did that 5 minutes before the actual podcast. And I'm like, so listen, today we're doing something different.
Who needs visual aids anyway?
Yeah, well,
we paint beautiful pictures with our voices.
Oh, for sure. And I mean, we can still show people, the interesting stuff in and around our podcast. Like, I have picked up floor sticker, and it's currently desk sticker. Because actually, that was my daughter. She picked it up and gave it to me. She was like, "I think you dropped this," and I was like, "No, well, no,
it belongs there."
Yeah. So I will, on camera, for everyone's sake, just toss it right back there. There we go. Floor sticker is where it belongs. And now all is right with the world. So Kevin.
Hello.
Do you want to talk about your experience, or should we start with some news? What do you want to do?
I'll start with the news. I have to gather my thoughts.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of them.
That's fair. In Pokemon news today, Pokemon Sword and Shield has received a new update this week, bringing the game to version 1.2.1. There have been a couple of issues, not too many of them that were addressed, but one that is that it fixes an issue where players don't match together on the Wycom, and it makes many raids edited by people can't be played online. So that was actually a big problem that's been happening for the past couple of weeks. If anybody's ever played a hacked raid, you would kind of know it. Have you played any of the hacked raids, Kevin?
No, that requires playing raids, which I don't do.
Oh,
I kind of just
you're just done with it, huh?
A. You just press A.
Yeah, it is press A in the game, kind of. I mean, really, it's fun at the beginning of. It was fun at the beginning of Isle of Armor. It was fun at the beginning of Sword and Shield, but eventually, it's just I have the Pokemon already. If it's a new Pokemon that I don't have, sure, I'll do it. But if I have the Pokemon already and I don't need any Dynamax candies, which I already have 7,000 of anyway, Not really too much reason to do it except for the EXP candies, which again, I have like 1,000 of from when I first did it when I front loaded all my raids at the beginning anyway.
Mm-hmm. It's like, oh boy, it's a Soul Rock. Incredible. Can't wait.
No, that's why you need to live with like 3 other people, all who also play Pokemon, and raid with them.
What you're telling me is that we need a Pokesports gaming house.
Correct. You know, I quick segue. I'm a little older.
Did you buy a house?
No.
Okay.
I'm a little older, and so I would say like 18 to 25-year-old YouTube is kind of like far behind me. I don't really follow that too much. I just learned, or I'm in the process of learning, that like YouTube houses are a thing. Like,
oh yeah.
Like these kids are buying houses with other kids and somehow making all of this money just being in this house with all of these people. Like it's happening happened through Vine. It happened through TikTok. Like, what is going on here?
I mean, I guess when you have all your equipment in one place, you could share the equipment with other people. It's convenient.
Yeah.
And also, it's just like that bachelor pad vibe, I guess.
It's a very bachelor pad vibe, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Cool Kids Club.
Cool Kids Club. And the reason I bring that up is because there's literally no other Pokemon news this week.
It was such a dry week.
It was such a
Jeez.
Dry as Martin Solrock. There is no current news as of this week. However, Smogon, being the ever-changing, ever-shifting force of power that it is, there it is, has had some pieces of news this week. Conkeldurr, Aegislash, Scolipede, and Gengar are no longer allowed in UU. So you remember last week when I did the iconic Smogon Pokesports rap? No, not this time. Those 4 have just been immediately dropped out.
Time to update your rap now.
Yeah, really.
Go right now. From memory.
Oh boy. No.
Cloyster. That's the first one I remember.
Cloyster was the first one? I honestly couldn't remember that. That was what I was having the biggest problem with. I remember Conkeldurr. Conkeldurr something. No, it's not even going to come to me.
Why is Scolipede too good for UU? Is that actually
Speed
a good
boost,
Pokemon
dude.
in singles?
Absolutely. You protect once, and you get +1 speed.
Oh, okay. In VGC, you protect once, then get doubled next turn.
Yeah.
Or you just Dynamax and just ignore that protect. Or you play Urshifu.
I mean,
Speaking of Urshifu,
I don't think you... Wait, can you? Can you even? Oh my gosh, yeah, you can. National decks. So Galarian, Darmanitan, Ash Greninja, Mega Metagross, Tornadus T, and Urshifu S. That's single strike, right? They're no longer allowed in national decks. So
they essentially banned them from the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Like that's pretty much the only time that you'd ever be able to use them outside of like Ubers.
To you
Nat decks them? Ubers. To you use them? Yeah.
Poor guys.
It's a sad day that you don't get to use Ash Greninja anymore.
Yeah, like I was just about to say, I haven't seen half of these Pokemon in a whole like 2 years anyway.
Yeah. I miss
what
Mega
is Ash
Metagross.
Greninja?
Remember Mega Metagross?
Oh yeah, dude. I hope it never comes back. Fun fact, Ash Greninja was never allowed in VGC, so I actually don't know what it does.
Oh wow. Battle Bond, I think, was its ability.
Yeah, beats me. It might as well be, I don't know, Swarm for all I care. Battle Bond.
I mean, that's basically what it does. So I'll give you the actual description for it. Defeating an opposing Pokemon strengthens the Pokemon's bond with its trainer and it becomes Ash Greninja. Water Shuriken gets more powerful.
Oh, okay. So it's like reverse.
It gets 5 more
Moxie power on a move. Oh, that's it? 5?
It gets 5 more
Why is that so broken?
Why is that so broken?
That's it?
I guess so.
Just delete it from the game. It doesn't need to be there.
And that's why they did it. It was a mercy killing is what it was.
It was just like, what is this? We don't need this.
All right. Drampa and DDF, Ninetales, Alolan Raichu, and Virizion are moving from RU to RUBL. Not too much to say about that one. Urshifu R. And by the way, I should clarify, Urshifu R Rapid Strikes and Urshifu S Single Strike. Single Strike is the dark version and Rapid Strike is the water version. Dark fighting, water fighting. Let's move on. Urshifu R is no longer allowed in monotype because, again, just broken, as I'm sure Kevin will be able to attest to.
Yes.
Rotom F and Orbeetle are moving from PU to PUBL. Orbeetle got too good for PU, so not allowed for that one.
Oh boy, too good for PU. That really defines a Pokemon.
The tier literally made because of the term PU. There's no, I don't think there's like is an actual acronym for that. I think it was just that those Pokemon are smelly and bad, and that's what it is.
I feel like Orbeetle has a scent to him. I can agree with that.
You know, there are some Pokemon that you're like, that Pokemon probably smells.
What's it? Okay, name one.
Grimer, obviously. Grimer.
Garbodor.
Obviously Garbodor. Garbodor.
Garbodor. I will fight you on this one.
The etymology means that it's garbage and a door.
A door? I agree. That door behind you that we're going to open at 10K subs?
Dude.
Look at that segue.
It's going to be just full of garbage. You open it up and just garbage falls out.
It's Garbodor.
Oh, man. Coughing. Yeah, not Skywalker in the chat says coughing. Absolutely muck. Hodor.
Just say crispy.
1992. Mark Cookie says Vile Plume. Absolutely. Skunky. Stun tank.
Anything with the poison type.
Yeah, they probably stink.
Galarian wheezing.
Toxtricity probably takes a shower.
Yeah. He electrifies the stench away.
Yeah. Sometimes you're just too electrifying to carry a stench. Unlike Muck, the Never Stinky Gallade is moving from NU to NUBL. I love Gallade. It's just so bad in so many situations. Yeah.
Especially now you got other justified users. Just use those other ones.
Right? However, I will say, and I'm thinking about this, fighting doesn't resist dark, does it? It's one of those fringe ones that I can't always remember. Dang it. Because I was going to say, I should know this. Yeah, really. Because I was going to say, if there was a Pokemon that was weak to dark, but also had justified, then you could pop a weakness policy on that bad boy.
It would be Barokin. Yes, it does resist dark.
Yeah, that's a shame. There's some matchups that I'm always like, wait a second, does that really? Because it doesn't like make sense in my head all the time. But hey, we move. Ubers right now is suspect testing the move baton pass. So right now, Ubers, the thing that's all of these big Pokemon doing big moves and big things. They're like, baton pass. That's pretty good, isn't it?
But that's a singles move, right?
Baton pass?
I know what it does, but
yeah,
and I understand how it could be good, but
really?
To ban it, don't usually really bad Pokemon use it, like Smeargle. I guess Smeargle can be good.
No, baton pass is used. Absolutely. If you have things like Shell Smash, a lot of Pokemon are good at baton passing Shell Smash.
Oh yeah, Poltegeist. Oh, that means Poltegeist might be considered Ubers.
I mean, really, you could baton pass anything over to like a Clefable and then Cosmic Power.
Do you think it's like stuff. Ubers broken?
Well, I mean, if you pass that over to an already broken Pokemon, probably. I can understand that. I haven't seen it too much because I don't play Ubers a ton. I'm more the OUUU kind of guy. But I can imagine that if you pass like +2 attack, +2 speed onto like a potential Gmax or a legendary, like that's just gonna run shop.
Yeah. The more I think about it, the scarier it sounds for singles.
Yeah.
Especially if you have a good switch in. You just set up baton pass next turn.
That's
okay,
right.
Yeah, that's disgusting. Never mind. Carry on.
Can I say, by the way, I'm still super blown away about the fact that teleport has become such a staple in this game.
Maybe in your game.
Yeah, I mean,
On your side of the field, maybe, but on this side of the field, teleport's still not seen.
Oh man, yeah. Like for the people who haven't listened to our previous episodes, teleport now goes last. Is that it? That's it, right?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
has like -6 priority.
That's
-7.
right. That's right. So you can technically like wish, like get a wish off by setting up a wish on the first turn, then teleporting after the second turn, and like healing up whatever Pokemon you want, while also tanking the hit from the opposing Pokemon. There's some pretty nasty things that people have been doing with it, especially with using Chansey. So much so that it's like brought Chansey out of like the complete nether and has put it in like I believe it's OU recently with the best
OU contention. Oh,
yeah,
wow.
yeah. Like it's crazy that kind of thing just goes like straight up because of that one move.
I can't wait until they ban teleport and Abra becomes Ubers. That's gonna be my favorite time.
You can only use it in Ubers. That's hilarious. That is hilarious, Kevin. This weekend, I want to tell you about how I spent my weekend. So this was the first weekend in a long time that I decided to spend like more time than usual with my family. So like from dusk till dawn, I like looked at Pokesports stuff, but I wasn't as active on the Discord this weekend. I wasn't as like doing too much work because I wanted a little break. So what I did is on Saturday, I went to the cottage. My partner has a cottage. We went up and I was like, okay, I'm going to spend today with my family, with my daughter. We're going to have a good time. You send me a message on Discord at like, I want to say 12:30 or 1 PM saying like, hey, go check Twitch. And so I look at Twitch where you were streaming, prepping for the Players Cup, and we had like 100 something people watching the stream. And I'm like, this is like multiple times more than we're used to on a daily basis. So I should probably stick around for this one. So I proceed to spend the next 4 hours sitting on the couch watching your stream on my phone. Now, mind you, I don't have internet up there. So I was sitting there on my data, streaming Twitch the entire time, looking at your thing. Like the internet connection up there is spotty. So like every now and then it will like freeze and just like, I'm like walking out of the cottage, like trying to like hold my phone up, trying to get reception. Just to try and watch and see what you were doing there. And you were prepping for the Players Cup, which you were going to be participating in later on. And I want to hear all about that. We're going to have a full-on conversation about that when we come back from Le Break. So we will see you in just a second where we'll be talking all about the Players Cup. See you in a bit. Kevin, how was your week?
I'm not gonna lie. Well, this isn't even a reference to the Players Cup.
Welcome back, by the way. Yes.
Hello. So my manager is on vacation, and I'm the head chef at my grocery store. So I now have to fill the shoes of head chef and manager, which is a lot of work. Right. I don't want to fill both shoes. So it's a super stressful week, all leading up to Players Cup, which I don't know. I felt like I was unprepared for, mostly because I changed my team last minute. But I'm not gonna give myself excuses. And then I didn't do too well in the Players Cup.
Why did you change your team last minute?
Funny story. Funny story. So I was playing Battle Spot just as, for fun, just trying to kill some time. And then I pair against Wolf Glick. Wolf Glick is running Selgor Palisand, and I'm running Comfy Gudra.
Okay.
Physical Gudra. So then I'm like, okay, let me just make my Gudra very strong. And then he makes his Palisand +6. I'm like, oh, my team has 5 physical attackers. I have 0 way of dealing with Palisand. No. Time to scrap this. So essentially, Wolfie just convinced me to change my team entirely. And then watching his video.
Never know.
He'll never know. And then I watched this video. I actually made it onto a video too. There were actually a couple people in the comment section that recognized my I guess in-game name.
Yeah,
So that was kind of humbling. But
it's fair.
anyway, during the video, he was talking about how underwhelming Talonflame was, and that was literally my thought process when I was playing that battle versus him. My Talonflame was trying so hard to flap its wings at this Palisand, and it's just like doing absolutely nothing.
Oh
So,
no.
A PSA: if you don't listen to me, listen to Wolf. Don't use Talonflame; it's not that good.
Okay. Oh, that's so sad. We've got Joe UX9 in the chat, like flipping out over this. He's like, "Oh no, why would you do that?"
Dude, I had so many physical attackers versus this Palisand. Palisand just tore me to shreds.
Oh no.
Anyway, hard swap my team. We'll talk about my team in a second, but first, let's have a quick recap of the Players Cup in week 1.
Sure.
I have access to the bracket, which means that I know exactly who's where, and some.
But I feel
very
like we can't
interesting
talk
people.
about all of it, right?
No, not all of it,
Okay.
but all the people we've talked about have revealed their scores already.
Got it.
So it's fine.
Right. Just like over on their Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So some notable players that went 3-0 their first day and will proceed to week 2, obviously, are Judy Azzarelli, which you guys may know from 2014 Worlds Finals against, Station Park. Ray Rizzo, 3-time world champion. Joe UX9, here in the chat. Hi, Joe. We have, and Ezreal, which are all really big names in VGC, very notable players. And other players that did make it into the losers bracket. So that means they just lost once, but still make it to day 2.
Right.
Would include the likes of Wolf Glick, James Beck, and Chupa Cross. In fact, Wolf and James are actually paired to face each other at the beginning of week 2.
Oh, that'll be a fun game to watch.
That's going to be a really good game.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay.
So how did I do? Let's talk about it. I went 1-2 in my winners bracket match, bumped me right into losers bracket, and then 0-2 in losers bracket. So I guess you could say I didn't do very good.
Oh no.
Yeah, but you know what? A lot of people are asking me, Kevin, you mad about your results? I mean, I'm disappointed with myself. At the same time, I'm humbled that I was even able to get an opportunity to play in this.
Yeah.
Especially since, considering best 256 in NA is kind of a big deal.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good for my standards, at least. So yeah, I'm humbled by the fact that I was even able to participate. I know at the time I was salty. I released my whole team, but in the end, it was a great opportunity. Speaking of my team that I released, we have Rillaboom G-Max with Life Orb. It was a Dynamax Rillaboom paired with the Drift Blim with Grassy Seed and Tailwind. Along with that, I had a Dracovish with Choice Scarf to counter Cinderaces, because it's actually able to outspeed Cinderace and just straight OHKO it. Incineroar with a Guava Berry, because Incineroar is kind of broken. Sylveon with Pixie Plate, because I kind of wanted a Hyper Voice user and a very solid spread move.
Yeah.
Because against Hatterene and Indeedee, what I would do is I would lead Bisharp, Dynamax, go for the Max Darkness, remove the Indeedee from the game while lowering the special defense of the Hatterene, and then Hyper Voice to just one-shot the Hatterene. And then last Pokemon was Bisharp with Focus Sash.
Now, I did see a lot of those where you would choose to go for the Max Darkness, and even in the games before, if people had been sticking around for your stream where you were playing against viewers, one thing that really challenged that team was Corviknight. And Mirror Armor just specific. Well, not really Mirror Armor. Mirror Armor actually helped you more than it hurt you, just because of Bisharp's Defiant. Getting that special defense drop into a +2 attack boost is oh, that's not bad. But yeah, Corviknight really challenged a lot of your team.
Yeah, I even said it during my prep matches, because I played 3.5 hours of prep before I actually started my games. And I was playing with viewers, just best of threes. Corviknight ruined me. Braviary ruined me. My team hates flying types. Right. And that's something I didn't notice until, just actually performing. And that's the biggest problem with just scrapping a team and going completely fresh into a tournament. You don't know the ins and outs of the team.
No.
I didn't notice how big of a deal flying type was until I got, whooped and after my team was locked in.
I'm curious how many people out there are challenged by Corviknight right now. Like again, Joe UX9 in chat is agreeing with you in that his team auto loses to Corviknight, he says. And just thinking about like the new Pokemon that people are using, Rillaboom is like huge in the meta right now. And yeah, absolutely, Corviknight challenges that.
So Rillaboom can't touch Corviknight at all.
I'm curious if there's going to be a switch. Ryan, of course, chiming in with the Vikavolt. Ryan is a major Vikavolt stan. He is doing as much as he can to make that happen.
But yeah, it's funny because I'm like, while I was playing my matches and prepping, I was like, okay, so Corviknight challenges my team a lot.
Yeah.
As long as I don't go against Corviknight, I'll be fine. First match, G-Max Corviknight right in my face. And I'm just like, oh, okay. But yeah, Corviknight walls my whole team, but I did kind of find a little bit of so first match I lost. Corviknight just swept me. I couldn't do anything to Corviknight. He led with it, Dynamax with it, destroyed me. Second match, I was like, okay, I have to find a way around this. So I'm like, okay, I have to just Defiant spam this and make my Bisharp my main focus to winning the game. And I actually managed to get my Bisharp to +6 through Defiant spam just by going for 3 max darknesses and eventually just whittling away at this Corviknight until it's gone. And then I was able to just sweep with the Bisharp afterwards. I'm like, okay, this strategy worked. Now let's repeat it.
Okay.
So then my opponent repeats it. And my opponent, he put me in a situation where he had Trick Room up. I think he had a P2. Oh yeah, we could talk about his team too. Umbreon with a Yappa Berry, Volcarona with Focus Sash, Corviknight with Citrus Berry, Luxray with Flame Orb, Primarina with Assault Vest, and Mimikyu with Mental Herb. So he had the Mimikyu with the Trick Room and the Volcarona with the Focus Sash on his side of the field. I had a Bisharp and a Dracovish. So what I could have done was just go for the Vicious Rend and then Sucker Punch, cleaned up the Volcarona. That's the biggest threat to my Bisharp gone. But what I did do, predicting a Rage Powder, because, Trick Room and Rage Powder is kind of a pretty predictable thing, right?
Right.
I didn't go for Sucker Punch. I went for Iron Head instead, and he went for a fiery thing.
Yes, he did. Fiery Dance?
And, whatever that is, that kills me. The fire move that ruins my life. That one.
Yeah.
And he went for that. And yeah, then he got the Trick Room up and there wasn't much I could have done.
That's so rough.
I lost a lot of my matches to predictions, actually. My game 2, I lost to prediction as well. Like, I've kind of come to terms with just stop thinking so much. Just don't think and do.
So do you think that you would have performed better if you continued the Goodra Comfy team versus like specifically that team that you faced?
I think that's a hard decision. I think if maybe I replace Goodra with a special Dragapult with weakness policy and then Draining Kiss the Dragapult, I might have stood a better chance.
So looking at the opponent's team, I'm seeing Corviknight, I'm seeing Volcarona, both Pokemon that your team doesn't have a specific answer for. Now, those aren't like high meta Pokemon, so like really, why would you? But with that team that you had scrapped, and I'm so hoping that we're gonna have a breakthrough here with that team that you scrapped. Do you have answers for those Pokemon with that team?
Team that I scrapped, what did I even have on that? I had the Talonflame on it, so I would have been able to Brave Bird the Volcarona, and I still wouldn't have been able to touch Corviknight. Actually, I would have. I had Rotom Wash on that team.
Oh,
I would have been fine.
We had our breakthrough.
Yeah,
that was our somewhere deep down in my heart, I still love you.
So the reason we lost is because of Wolf Glick, essentially. We're not blaming. I don't know. Thanks, Wolf. You made me change my team.
That's very funny. That's very funny. Okay, so that was game 1.
Yes.
And again, like one thing that I was marveling at sitting there on my cottage steps looking at you playing your game was that that Corviknight with the mirror armor reflecting Defiant onto your Bisharp. That was pretty intense and that was pretty great. So for those of you who are thinking that you're probably going to be seeing more Corviknight, you're probably right. With this current meta, Corviknight is probably going to be coming up in the counter meta. if you are using any kind of Defiant users, any kind of competitive users, that's going to be a major boon for you to know that you can actually increase your own Pokemon's stats with just that.
A fun strategy you can do too is have an Intimidator next to your Defiant user and keep switching those in and out, and then just get boosting your own stats over and over.
Oh, that's fair.
And fun, an extra little bit of
Extra.
Read all about it.
Mm-hmm.
Extra fun thing that you can do is go for a parting shot on a magic bounce user.
Oh, okay.
What is it? Obstagoon can do this. Obstagoon can parting shot a Hatterene.
Okay.
Get it magic bounced back to him, and then he gets the +2 and then the +1. So he gets a +3 immediately. Because each stat drop counts individually. So you get double Defiant.
Who gets switched out?
Oh, Hatterene.
Really?
Yep.
Huh.
That's something I've been wanting to try.
I say do it. Bring
that
back the goon.
That requires me to use an Obstagoon, which might be a little bit hard right now with all these fighting types.
It was there for the very beginning of Sword and Shield, and then everyone was like, this was fun, but now we're done.
This is fun, but now here's an Urshifu.
That's fair. All right, so game two.
Uh-huh.
Speaking of Urshifu, let's move on to that one, because I do remember seeing that Urshifu S, the Surging Strikes, the water, Urshifu R, Rapid Strikes, come out versus you. So tell us about game two.
So my opponent brought Urshifu Water with Choice Band, Charizard G-Max with Life Orb, Dragapult with Weakness Policy, Rillaboom with Rose Incense, Porygon 2 with Eviolite, and Incineroar with Safety Goggles. Very meta team. I did feel like I was prepared for this, but I don't know. I guess it's from game one nerves. Just like I felt like my back was against the wall, so I made kind of very adventurous predictions, and I think over predicting caused me to lose this set. So like this brings me back to the moral of the story. Stop thinking so much. Sometimes the obvious play is the better play. Let me paint a picture real quick. So my opponent had a Charizard and a Porygon 2 on his side of the field. First turn, he protects with Charizard and then attempts to go for Trick Room, I'm assuming, with the Porygon 2. I had a Dracovish with Choice Scarf. He knew I had Choice Scarf because, he knew my items. Yeah. So he knew I was going to outspeed the Charizard. So what I did was I fake outed the Porygon 2 and attempted to Fish's Rend the Charizard. First turn, I did exactly that. I didn't think, I just did. I was like, okay, let me Fish's Friend here. He protects, he's safe for one more turn. So I was like, all right, there's no way he keeps this Charizard in, right? He just saw me go for Fish's Friend. He just saw me super committing to Okoing him. He knows I outspeed because I have the Choice Scarf. He has Life Orb, so he doesn't have Focus Sash. I can just go for this Fish's Friend.
Right.
So my brain was like, okay, he's switching. So me predicting the switch, I doubled into the Porygon 2, KO'd the Porygon, but at the end of the day, this man G-Maxes his Charizard. He
has a full-on Charizard.
He G-Maxes his Charizard.
Oh, no.
And Max Overgrowths me and KOs me. KOs my only answer to Charizard, that being my Dracovish.
Right.
So.
Oh no, Kevin. You thought you were in a position. I do remember that game actually, and I remember the one thing the chat was saying at that point, spamming. Just there is still the Charizard. Like it doesn't matter that you're dealing with all of the Trick Room stuff and like all the secondary Pokemon. It's good that those things are going down, but you've got a full on Charizard.
Yeah.
A G-Max Charizard.
Dude, I was so convinced. I was so convinced he was just going to switch. And I was just making the best play ever. But, like I said, don't think too much. Anyway, yeah, that was kind of my...
And then that was your run. So you went 1-2 in the first game. You went 0-2 in the second?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for those who were... interested, I believe in order to make it to the next round, Kevin, what was it? You had to go, you could only afford one loss?
Yeah, you can only afford one loss if you want to get to the next round. You had to be either 3-0, 4-1, or something like that.
Yeah.
3-0, 3-1, or 4-1, or something like that. You can only get one loss. There's no anything else to it. If that makes any sense.
Kevin, let's take it to grade school for a bit. What did you learn?
Okay, so I learned that we shouldn't delete teams last minute. I learned that I feel like I've said this already, but think less. Just go for the obvious play. Like, in hindsight, thinking about that last Charizard Dracovish play, if he switched in something, that's still something taking a max damage Fishious Rend from a Dracovish, regardless of what it was. So I should have just gone for the Fishious Rend. What changes would I have made? I would probably have added more special attackers to my team, especially more electric types, so I can deal with Corviknights, and actually would have helped me deal with a Water Urshifu as well. Water Urshifu did give me a little bit of trouble. It just did a lot of damage, even with Choice Band KOing Pokemon. Didn't expect it to KO. And that's kind of weird because I didn't expect Urshifu to be used coming into this tournament, because a lot of top competitive players are just talking about how bad it is.
Maybe it was because of this.
Yeah,
maybe they were trying to pull the wool over your eyes, Kevin.
Well, it worked, man. Yeah. My eyes are wooled up. I got a wooloo in my face. I can't see.
That's fair. And so what's next after this? So you're not moving on in the Players Cup, but you did participate. What is next?
Well, in terms of tournaments, I guess just playing friendlies is going to... They're probably going to have more international challenges. I think VGC 2021 is going to be super fun. It's probably just going to include the Isle of Armor Pokemon, which means that Legends are probably coming back, which means that that's going to be a whole other
and you're
scary
gonna be in the
metagame.
League, so.
I was just about to say that. I got the Patreon League to worry about now.
That's true. There you go.
That's my new goal. My new goal is to try to make up for my losses by beating our patrons.
By smashing the people who support us.
I gotta show them. I gotta remind them who's boss here.
Oh,
all right.
No,
this is just a fluke. But I actually did I don't know if I told you about this. I was super tilted after the Players Cup, and after I ended stream, I was like, instead of taking a break like most smart people would do when they're tilted, I was just like, okay, I'm making a new team right now. So first I did this funky thing. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna play a gimmick. So I ran a Choice Scarf the Azumarill with huge power with Misty Explosion.
Kevin.
Wait, I'm not done yet.
Kevin.
It gets worse. With Receiver Passimian. If for those of you that don't know what the Receiver does, I don't blame you because no one uses it. Everyone just uses Defiant. When your adjacent Pokemon goes down, you inherit their ability. So what I would do is have a weakness policy Passimian on the field. Azumarill explodes, pops my weakness policy, and then gives me huge power. So I have a huge power Passimian with +2.
Okay.
It's really bad though, but it's fun. You'll get 1 or 2 KOs, and then they'll just expanding force you to death, and you're back to where you started.
Then you need your back Pokemon to be able to deal with that.
Yeah.
Just bring a dark Pokemon, and opponent can't do anything.
Or just bring Passimian and 10 dark Pokemon.
Yes.
Where they really can't do anything.
But
yeah, after I realized that was bad, I started playing with Zoroark, and I am not gonna lie to you, Zoroark impresses me.
Really?
Yeah, I'm like, you can totally get some really, really sick baits out. So I was like, okay, let me build a team full of things that I hated during the Players Cup. So I had a Water Urshifu, and I had a G-Max Corviknight, I had a Togekiss, I had the Incineroar, etc., etc. So I was like, okay, I have a Zoroark. Let me just... And I saw my opponent has Psy Spam.
Yeah.
They just have super expanding force, sit there and just click Psy Spam.
Sure.
So I was like, all right, let me just put in my Zoroark as the lead, but disguise it as my Urshifu that's, super weak to Psy Spam. Convince them to just keep Psy Spamming me. So then first turn happens, they both go for Psy Spam, and meanwhile I'm here, Nasty Plot. They see an Urshifu use Nasty Plot. Dynamax, and then just destroy their psychic types.
No one actually predicts the Zoroark. That's funny.
It's fun. It's funny because you see it in team preview.
Yeah. But honestly, like same here. Whenever I see Zoroark in team preview, I forget about it the second the game starts because a different Pokemon just showed up.
That is true, yeah. And they actually removed the bug that I think Gen 7 had where like the Zoroark would look like the Pokemon, but then when you go to attack, the attacks would code to dark rather than the actual Pokemon that the Zoroark looked like. So you would know which one the Zoroark is if you had any knowledge of typing.
Oh no.
If that makes sense. They cleaned that up. So whatever the illusion is what the super effectivenesses show up as. So thank God they cleaned that up.
Good.
Because that would have ruined my strategy.
Interesting. I kind of want to toss a Zoroark on my team because like that's the kind of shenaniganery that I thrive off of.
There's a video about it, youtube.com/Pokesports.
I know. I saw you put one out today. I was like, ooh, spicy. That's exactly what you named it. It was like spicy.
I didn't know what else to call it. It was really late.
It's funny because like there are some videos that like even if you look at our videos on Pokesports, like there are some videos where you just know that like we didn't really know what to call this one, but we're just gonna kind of call it what it is. So Kevin puts one out today.
Pokemon team.
Exactly. Spicy Zoroark team. Ta-da! And then the thumbnail has like Zoroark team.
I hit all the points. What are you talking about? This is great.
I mean, really. That one, like you can't even call that clickbait.
It's literally what it is.
Yeah.
SEO at its finest.
That's like you're throwing in your hook, you have your fishing rod, you go and cast your line, it goes down, the fish goes up to it. It's a literal hook. It's just a J, like big jagged edge right at the end of it too. Like you shouldn't bite this. However, fish bites.
Do anyway. Do anyway.
Fish bites. Kevin, we've been going pretty simple today with our layout. I am going to go right back for a second to our main screen, and we are going to get into today's Pokesports Pokemon Spotlight, which is G-Max Rillaboom. You might have seen it a bunch if you're watching any of the Players Cup streams. No, actually, you know what? Surprisingly little people streaming the Players Cup. Weird, isn't it?
Yeah, I wonder why.
Yeah, a lot of people like keeping their cards close to their chest, like, oh, I don't want to show off anything, but it's like, no, this is like the perfect opportunity to like show yourself off in a competitive space.
They're all already public knowledge because the opponent has them already. So I mean,
yeah,
you can check anybody's at any time just by going in the bracket if you're in the tournament.
It's true.
So you can prepare for your opponents ahead of time, which is kind of broken too.
Yeah, no, that's fair. So yeah, our Pokemon today is G-Max Rillaboom. Held item, usually Assault Vest with the ability Grassy Surge. Rillabooms will typically run 252 HP, 252 attack, 4 special defense. Why did they not run 252 speed, Kevin?
Because if you're like my Rillaboom, you get outcode by it. But also this is what I've been doing. Right now, you have a lot of Indeedys going min speed with relaxed. So like the minest speed possible just so they get the psychic terrain up. Because if you guys don't know, the slowest Pokemon gets the terrain up in that turn. So that's really useful against the 1v1 with Rillaboom.
Yeah.
So I decided, okay, let's make it Brave min speed. Because apparently Rillaboom and Indeedee both speed tie. So at least you make it up to a coin flip, which is a lot better than 0 chance.
Right.
That's kind of like what I want to go. I don't know if it's actually good or not.
A lot of it is just to get around the psychic terrain. You want that grassy terrain up.
Yeah. As long as you can kind of ruin your opponent's strategy, it's really, really useful.
That's fair. Usually with the moves Grassy Glide, Fake Out, Knock Off, and High Horsepower, you could also replace any of those with Wood Hammer, Protect, Drum Beating. Not any of those really. You could kind of take off Grassy Glide for Wood Hammer or Drum Beating if you're not really prioritizing the grassy terrain. But really, you can choose what you want there. This set, what is this set typically good for, Kevin?
Terrain switching. Terrain switching is super big against anything like Eviolite users. Knockoff. Super rare in the metagame because not a lot of Pokemon get it, so it's really useful in terms of that. it can really ruin in a size spam on a switch in. It could
Mhm.
also enable your adjacent Pokemon to be able to fake out in psychic terrain if you
Right.
could do that switch in as well. There's a lot of strategies. You're mainly using this for the Grassy Surge, and the reason why this Pokemon is so popular is for the Grassy Surge. And on top of that, you also get primary Grassy Glide, which gets empowered
Oh.
by Grassy Surge. So it's just a lot of stat boosts on top of stat boosts. Rillaboom already has like base 125 physical attack on top of it all. So just maximizing that and doing a lot of damage is really strong. You're able to OHKO very big threats in the metagame like Milotic, like Primarina, like Azumarill. It's useful. Rhyperior even. You don't see Rhyperior anywhere because of Rillaboom now.
That's true. Oh man, yeah. Where'd Rhyperior go?
Rhyperior's taking a break.
Ooh,
he's sitting on box 30, waiting for his opportunity.
that's some shenaniganery right there. All right. So with that, Kevin, let's go back over to here. Oh, hi everybody. You know what? I feel like this screen is kind of forcing me to be more aware of my facial expressions. Kevin says, scratching his nose. Like it's making me like look at the camera more and be like, oh, well, hello, everybody. That's what I say. So let's end off the podcast real quick, but I will say Twitch, stick around because we're going to be doing one more thing after this. But let's go and thank some people. First off, I want to start by thanking M Dash, the person that we're using all of his music for. If you are looking for the music that we use in our mid roll, the music that we use at the very beginning of the podcast, that is all done by M Dash, youtube.com/M Dash, previously Electric Mudkip. Really good stuff. You can follow Pokesports on YouTube at youtube.com/Pokesports because we put out stuff every single day. You can follow us on Twitter at PokesportsPod because we tweet a lot, and you can follow us on Patreon and on Instagram at Pokesports Podcast because that is the longest physical name that we could potentially do. Kevin, where can people find you?
X Reservation, Twitter, and Instagram.
And then, of course, you can follow me at Still Just Mike anywhere you find your Still Just Mikes. Big special Patreon shout out to Ahmed, Brian, Elijah, Perry, Zach, Alex, Carlos, Cesar Squirrels, Colton, Jordan, Lewis, Neil, Scott, Sheldon, Carrie, William, Roe, Ixon, Sinov, Chad, Dante, Federico, Joseph, and Ryan. You guys are all helping to keep the lights on, and I appreciate the heck out of you.
Help us quit our jobs. I will repeat this every day.
Oh no, Kevin.
Especially after this week. Oh geez, please help me.
You know how people have weird flexes? This is like the opposite. That's a weird shill, but okay. Everybody, I want to thank you so much for joining us on today's Pokesports podcast. We'll be back next week with a brand new one. Or as Kevin always says,
I was not prepared for the outro.
We'll see you next week.
Catch 'em, gotta catch 'em all.
Gotta see you next week. Pokesports. Yeah!